That being said, you know that Alabama and Texas have both thought about every aspect of this one, so you just know this will be, say it with me, a whale of a game. In Newport Beach, California, John Pearson, WHNT News 19 Sports. And tonight, the Pro Bowl, featuring the physicality of a quilting bee and the competitiveness of a game of solitaire. But it's football, so somebody will watch it. Now, as somebody whose main basketball strategy philosophy involves the movie Fletch, something like this. Whoa! And he was fouled. I can't quite understand how Amber continues to get to the line. Well, it involves a little bit of chicanery and those hips. Now, to be honest with you, this ridiculous number represents, I don't know, about 1/3 of the collection of Ralston Turner's tennis shoes. And yes, he's a little sensitive about scuffing those things, but I've come up with a scenario. Late in the game, Muscle Shoals down by 1. They need the game-winning shot. Coach Connor, though, steps on Ralston's shoes in the huddle, scuffing them. Does he go back in? Now, both these guys admit that when they go home to Geraldine and people find out that they are male cheerleaders, sometimes people laugh at them, but all they have to do is point out just where they are watching the game and who they are watching the game with, and then they can ask, hey, where are you watching the game? Every time Clay Whittemore swings at a baseball, it seems he rips it. But hitting a baseball is a piece of cake when you see what he's used to trying to hit. It's this, black-eyed peas. One at a time. It's all about hand-eye coordination. The peas are so small that sometimes it looks like he's just preparing for life as a mime, pretending to play ball. But listen close. That is the sound of stick hitting pea. For 15 minutes before practice every day, a teammate like Todd Cunningham fires black-eyed peas at Clay, and he misses some, and he hits some. It's part of the reason that Clay and his bat are like two peas in a pod. And while he seldom sees a baseball, he doesn't hit. It
gets kind of boring out here. Sometimes, getting a routine, you want to mix things up a little bit. So what I started doing, we started off with miniature golf ball wiffle balls. And we started hitting those. We got a skinny cork ball bat. It's about 1 inch in diameter. We got hitting those pretty good. So we started off, we got some miniature marshmallows. And eventually what it came into is we got some black-eyed peas out here. And you get a pound bag, and it really lasts you the whole season. And the best part of it is you don't have to pick them up after you hit them. So it's kind of challenging, but something to mix things up and work on your hand-eye coordination. It's kind of fun. There's no doubt it helps hand-eye coordination. I mean, that thing's less than 1/4 inch in diameter. I mean, you gotta watch it all the way to the bat. I think that's one of the keys to hitting. Actually, the baseball looks like a beach ball coming in there. After you hit black-eyed peas for an hour, and the baseball just looks like a huge beach ball coming at you. So I mean, psychologically, it helps you out.
Now, doing this, Clay always makes sure he minds his P's and Q's. But there are times when he has trouble finding somebody to help him out in throwing the peas. Being the keeper of the pea could be dangerous, as we will now demonstrate. We watched Clay's teammate Todd take vegetables to the face again and again. We lost track of the count of number of times he took a pea to the head, all part of building Clay's batting average and his legend. And it looks dangerous. Ow! Your sports boy, here running camera, even gets a black eye in his throat. Oh. Got him. Now, it obviously works, and it obviously makes Clay happy. Does it make any kind of mess, or what's
Not really. I mean, they pretty much break up, when you hit them. So, I mean, you don't have a whole lot of black-eyed peas laying around on the ground, and we're not growing any peas out on the field. So, I think it's pretty low maintenance.
Are you worried that someday you'll be in the minor leagues, maybe in a northern city like you're in Spokane or you're in somewhere in Minnesota, and they don't sell black-eyed peas at your game?
No, that's already taken care of. We've got a supply stockpiled in Coleman. Actually, we bought a futures contract out on the exchange, on the mercantile exchange, so we're good to go on that. No need to worry. Now, continuing the postal theme, I can tell you that Demetrius Derrico has helped this team put a stamp on this season. In fact, he has helped deliver them to the verge of taking over first place. He's the total package, so it seems a little bit hurtful, the answer I got from the coach when I asked him if he would trust him with an important package. Our Steve Johnson has made our television station tens of dollars with his series Driving You Crazy, where you tell him what drives you crazy out on the roads, such as people driving through fast to your neighborhood. Drives you crazy. Now, Ashton wrestles in the 40-pound and underweight division, and as someone that wrestles in the 200 weight division, I gotta wonder just how tough can a 6-year-old be? Well, he doesn't really know that many moves just yet, but Dad actually says the moves he knows.
He knows really well.
Now, to have taking away someone's livelihood as one of your goals, well, that's a pretty big deal. But if you're someone that has the time and the energy and the wherewithal to do it, may we at News Channel 19 suggest that you get into some of these causes right here. That's a big one. That's a rather large world issue. That's pretty trivial right there, but there are all kinds of things to put your energy into. So you wonder, getting a hockey coach fired? That's your big cause?
Gerard Powers knows that there are a lot of Auburn fans who wish he was not pursuing his NFL dream yet. They would love to have him around for another year rather than going into this week's NFL draft. It's been a lot to digest, but tonight in Pearson Analytics will show you what this Decatur native must digest anytime he comes home.
Pro football is always on Gerard Powers' mind, but this week comes the revelation. For all the love of the oblong football, something of a similar shape is always there too.
Growing up, at Decatur High, like every week we went to Big Bob's at least once. Just to have a baked potato.
Even with all the places that his Auburn career has taken him, something always calls Gerard home. He pauses and reflects and then enters what is his Graceland, Decatur's legendary Big Bob Gibson's barbecue. And for Gerard Powers, it's the powers of the potato.
Everything about it is good. And their sweet tea. But when I went off to college and when I went training in LA, I couldn't find like good potatoes. I could not find like a good baked potato. In college we tried all types of places, but to me they just didn't match up to Big Bob. So every time I come home, I grab a couple of my friends, or I even go sit by myself if I have to, and just go at a Big Bob chicken loaded potato.
My hope for you, of course, is you sign that first contract, you get to the second one. Will Big Bob's Potatoes be a part of your second contract?
Who knows? If they want to do some negotiating, we can work something out, because I think more people around the world need to experience Big Bob's barbecue and baked potatoes, especially on the West Coast.
Now, to be honest with you, yes, this is a beautiful, beautiful potato, and this isn't so much a trip for lunch for Gerard Powers as a pilgrimage. But now it's time for a confession from this future NFL star. He comes home to Decatur, and there have been times where he came to see the potato before he came to see Mom.
Do you dream about the potato as you get closer to coming home, or what is it like?
I don't dream about it. It's just like when I come home, I have to pass it. Like before I even get to my house, I pass Big Bob's. So sometimes I come home and just stop at Big Bob's and eat. And when I get home, my mom would be all like, where you been? You're supposed to be here at this time, blah, blah, blah. And I just be like, I had to stop at Big Bob's. And that's just a place I have to go to.
See, you are admitting that you have gone to see the potato before you went to see your mother, who gave birth to you.
I have done that before. I always figured she never knew what time I was coming home, so I just stopped. Sometimes I didn't even tell her, so I just stop at Big Bob's and go at a potato and probably go home and go to sleep because I'll be stuffed afterwards.
Mom will forgive him, and if you think this story is just some half-baked concoction I came up with to try and be funny, Gerard will tell you it's not half-baked. In fact, it's loaded with cheese and sour cream and sauce and sometimes chicken.
That must be one heck of a potato.
Yeah, and it was 2 minutes and 15 seconds I timed it, making sure that every inch of the potato was covered by every inch of sauce. I went to a funeral today. Lauderdale County High girls basketball manager David Kelly passed away. David was deaf and also had a condition that made it incredibly difficult for him to walk his entire life. That's something he laughed about every time he fell. David was so important to that community. Last year, he was diagnosed with a brain tumor, and after more than a year in that battle, he passed away on Saturday. This is video from a story I did last year. The team said goodbye to David before he went to Nashville for treatment. Can't even begin to tell you how emotional the funeral was as they displayed pictures of David along with the 8 state championships he was a part of with his girls. I can tell you that he had an impact on me a couple of times. Back in '95, I had something that made me just decide that life was going to stink for a while and let the self-pity parade begin. And one of the first things I covered at that point was a Lauderdale County game. I saw David struggling through a crowd with a smile on his face, and he then looked at me in that smile, and I realized this too shall pass. Then last year, another tough time, and here came Johnny, feeling sorry for himself, and then I heard about David's brain tumor, and I saw him giving them a pep talk before his battle of his life and for his life. Suddenly I had a grip on what matters. This too shall pass. While his trials never did pass, his smile and his love for that team and that town never went away either. So thanks to him, and thanks to everyone today at the Lauderdale County Gymnasium for letting me just take in what one man can mean to a town. And this,
blows my mind all he meant in more than 20 years on that bench for that team.
Well, a beautiful tribute, and you can absolutely feel that from everything that we've seen and heard about
Yeah,
him.
when his mom came up and hugged me at the funeral today, I was like, all right, now I know why I'm here.